if you were not with us for the start of the show, I put it in reverse Terry to start the show. I backed it up, man. Because yesterday when Tyler Buchner hit the transfer portal, according to Pete Thamel, I was like, he's not going to Alabama. Alabama's got a full quarterback room. I know Tommy Rees was his coordinator, but this guy can't play at Alabama. After the show, and once Little T sent out that clip, had a lot of people that watched it, and they called me from Tuscaloosa and or people that are associated with Alabama, I wouldn't go so hard on that, Brownie. That kid's going to be in Tuscaloosa this weekend, and there's a chance he's on this football team, and there is a chance he is the starter. So, I was wrong, guys. I completely screwed that one up. I'll own it. But Lance now wants me to play the seesaw game on this guy being the starter. I mean, yesterday I was like, he ain't even going to be on the team.
No.
And now
let's just go him on the team.
Let's do him as a starter, too.
Okay. Well,
right.
Can we start with him on the team?
Well, him on the team, right now, I'd go 50-50.
I think it got a lot better.
I don't know what you do with the seesaw at 50-50.
If the reports were accurate that it was 3 teams that were seriously considering Stanford, Alabama, and TCU. TCU was off the table now with Chance Nolan going there. And again, they've already got a starting quarterback, Chandler Morris. I just got an interesting picture. I'll share it with you. Okay. Based on the Ole Miss Morgan Wallen thing.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Wow. Completely thrown off. So Stanford, Alabama in the mix. You think about the Tommy Rees connection. I will go, this is crazy because I thought Alabama was going to go to the portal. Because behind the scenes, I don't think Nick Saban is really pleased.
Yeah, but you thought they were going to go to the portal for a quarterback you think is better than Tyler Buchner.
Yes, but I was pretty positive they were going to the portal. And now with this and TCU getting Chance Nolan, I'm going to go 60-40. He's on the roster.
So you'd go 60-40. I went 50-50.
Got that extra little piece in there.
I noticed that. So as the starter now, and I mean, but here's what's complicated. Alabama does not need quarterback depth, Lance. They've got a room full of quarterbacks. They got 4 of them. Well, and they're excited about, from what I've heard, they really like what they've seen in Lonergan. I think they like Dylan Lonergan's future. Not to say they've given up on Ty Simpson or Holstein, but they like Lonergan from what I've heard. But there's 4 guys in that room
Here's my prediction. There's only one guy in that room that's got a decent amount of experience. That's Jalen Milroe.
That's right.
I think Buchner comes in. I think Milroe leaves.
I would agree with you on that. If Buchner comes in, I think Milroe – at minimum, Milroe leads.
And I saw over, and I forgot who had it in the Coke Zero chat room, but I do think Milroe would be an interesting mix if he was to go to Auburn and play for Hugh Freeze.
I've heard that is a possibility. Yeah, I mean, that if he hits the portal, that Hugh Freeze might be interested.
Can you imagine Jalen Milroe starting for Auburn in
an Iron Bowl
this year?
It'd be phenomenal, wouldn't it?
It really would be.
I mean, what a storyline that would be. So I would go as the starter. I'm still going to play this a little bit low, but it is complicated because if Tommy Rees likes this kid enough for them to go get him out of the portal, you know that is going to come with some transfers. You know you're going to lose players from your room. So why even take that risk if you don't think he's got a good shot at starting, right? Am I wrong in that rationale?
I mean, if I'm one of those guys and I don't believe, look, I've had a bad spring, I don't really think that I have any chance of being the starting quarterback. Yeah, I'm going to look elsewhere.
If Tommy Rees goes to Nick Saban's office and knocks on the door and Saban hits the button and the door opens up and Rees walks in and sits down and it says, hey, the kid that played for me at Notre Dame is in the portal now. Nick Saban's first question's got to be, can this kid start for us? Right? I mean, wouldn't you think that's Nick Saban's first question? It's all right, let's look at the film. Can this kid start for us?
I would say that Tommy Rees probably goes back and says, look, we recruited him. We felt like he was going to have a big year. He got injured. I think he is a starting quarterback for championship program.
Okay, Tommy, you're not answering my question. Can he start for us?
Based on what I've seen this spring, yes.
Okay, let's go get him. I mean, wouldn't you think that's the conversation? Because then if Tommy Rees comes back and says, Coach, I don't really know if he can start for us. Doesn't Nick Saban say, well, I got 4 guys that I don't know if he can start for us right now. Why do I need 5?
And that's why it's such an important decision because you don't want to run somebody off that's got potential.
That's right.
But I would go back to when Buchner came out, again, he was number 41 in the ESPN Top 300. He was recruited by Georgia, USC, Michigan, TCU, and Alabama. So Nick Saban knows who this kid is.
Yeah, there's no doubt Saban knows who he is. And they watched.
So I don't think it just comes down to Tommy Rees. I think, look, the relationship with Tommy Rees helps this if, in fact, Buchner does come to Tuscaloosa. But I think Nick Saban is one of those that would also have the tape in front of him. And, Obviously he gave him an offer before, so he feels comfortable with this if, in fact, it goes down.
So this is what's complicated. So can I word it this way? If he does transfer to Alabama, can I just word it that way? If he does transfer to Alabama through the portal, Rockstar, I'm going to go 70% he's the starter.
I'll top you. I want a little bit more. I'm going to go 75%.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is going to be maybe the most surprising starter in Nick Saban's tenure.
Now, I don't know if Jeff is directing his Coke Zero chat room comment at us. Funny how Buchner sucked yesterday, and now he's going to be at UAT, and he's good again, LOL. That's the exact opposite of what Lance said in the first hour.
Yeah,
now, that may be directed to people in the chat room. I never know. Sometimes in the chat room, I read things that I think are directed at us, but it's actually people arguing back and forth in the chat room.
And I'll just kind of restate what I said earlier. This guy might end up winning a Heisman Trophy if he comes and plays for Tommy Rees and Nick Saban in Alabama. They might win a national championship, but I would bet under 10.5 right now on the win total.
Yeah,
I think Alabama's a 10-2 again if Buchner's your starting quarterback.
I'll say it this way. I'm going to pull back the real quick, though. Rick says, and I've seen a lot of this, and I'll try to confirm this, that he's got no contact in his portal, which means he's requesting schools not to contact him. So that's an indicator that he knows where he's going when he hits the portal.
So why would you just not announce it?
Yeah, well, because I guess he hasn't visited Tuscaloosa until this weekend.
We've talked to people that haven't visited.
Bo Nix never went to Oregon.
Louis Ungalele never went to Corvallis.
Yeah.
There's something about the difficult drives, I guess, to Eugene and Corvallis.
Yeah, I would think so. You were about to say you were saying something else, and I'm sorry, I can't. Dad, coming in, I wanted to come back to it too. No. I was going to say before the show, in the next round office there, Lance and I were sitting there. I said, "Hey, by the way, I got to start the show by putting it in reverse, Terry." And you said, "What about?" And I said, after the show yesterday, I had a lot of people I trust reach out to me and say, Tyler Buchner to Alabama is a real thing. And Lance's first response was, he pulls his phone out and goes, "I'm betting the under for this season." That's Lance's first
I
response.
just go back, and again, I think this is going to be a better core than Alabama had last year. I think the offensive line is going to be better. I think the receivers have to be better. And I think running back by committee, you've got more depth there. But you had a generational talent in Bryce Young. And Bryce Young, you tell me how many times he pulled things out of his ass, whether it was the Texas game, the A&M game.
He did it for 2 years, basically.
Well, not the A&M game. Was it the A&M game? No.
No. That was Jalen Milroe, actually. That was Alabama's defense. Oh, it was game after game. His whole the Auburn game, going back to his first year as a starter in the Iron Bowl.
But I'm just saying, without that type of talent, and you're not going to get that from Buchner. You're just not. You're not going to get that from 99% of the quarterbacks out there. The SEC's getting better, and Tyler Buchner is your starting quarterback. We'll see what happens. Again, I could be completely wrong. You and I both said going into 2019, Joe Burrow was an average quarterback. That's how I feel about Tyler Buchner. He's an average quarterback.
Brody says every program, and I think he means in the SEC, would have taken Sam Hartman over their returning option.
Yeah, even Jaden Daniels.
Even Jaden Daniels, I think, is probably true. Now, Daniels is the one where you really have to stop and think about it.
That's the only one, though.
Yeah.
But now I would say if Buchner is your starting quarterback, we can go through it, Brown, and I will tell you quarterbacks in the SEC that I would rather have starting over Buchner, just based on the limited sample size that I've seen him.
Hang on. Let's do that real quick. I don't know who the starters are in a lot of these places, obviously.
I get that.
But we'll hit the highlights. Would you take Carson Beck?
I would take Carson Beck.
All right, now this is over Tyler Buchner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you don't know about Brock Vandegrift. You'd probably take Buchner over him.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Would you take Joe Milton?
Yes.
Would you take Spencer Rattler?
Yes.
Wow. Now, I don't know who the starters are in Kentucky, Florida, Missouri. Devin Leary, that's right, at Kentucky. Devin Leary you would take. Yeah, I forgot about him. I don't know about Florida, Missouri, Vandy. I don't know who's starting.
Florida's probably going to be Graham Mertz.
Yeah,
that's a push, probably.
Jaden Daniels, I know you would. Ty Simpson or Jalen Milroe?
I mean, you're about to see. If he transfers in, I think that tells you everything you need to know about this situation.
Will Rogers?
I would take Will Rogers.
Jackson Dart?
Jackson Dart, yes.
KJ Jefferson?
KJ Jefferson, yes.
No.
Connor Wegman, yes.
I'm down to A&M and Auburn.
Yeah.
Connor Wegman, you would?
I would.
I think I'd take Buchner.
I think Wegman's going to be good.
Do you know?
I really do. I do. I think he's going to be the best quarterback they've had since Kellen Mond.
Yeah.
Buchner's no Kellen Mond.
He is no Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond put up some numbers. There's no doubt about it. Robbie Ashford.
No. So I would take, I don't know, what's that, 75% of the
it felt
quarterbacks?
like it.
But again, I could be completely wrong.
Wow. It's a fascinating development. We'll see if it happens.
I can't believe Alabama's in this spot. Now, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have put hard money down that Ty Simpson was going to be the starting quarterback based on everything that I had heard.
Me too. I don't disagree with you at all on that.
And he still could end up being the starting quarterback.
Maybe he is.